One of the biggest things we've discovered in education research, I would argue in the last 50 years, and it is so painfully obvious that I can't believe we didn't see it much sooner, is what is the benefit of things like feedback? What is the benefit of things like testing, of giving pop quizzes? What is the benefit of asking kids questions? For the longest time, we assumed the benefit was to the student. When I give you feedback, you've learned something about yourself. When you take a test, you learn something about what you know. And to be fair, that's absolutely, it does help them. But by far, the biggest impact of all that stuff is on the teacher. When the teacher gives a kid feedback, it changes the way the teacher teaches that kid. When the teacher asks a question, depending on how the kids respond, they change their teaching tactics. We are highly responsive individuals, which is always my favorite joke, because everyone says tech is so good because it's adaptive. You know who else is adaptive? Humans. We are wickedly adaptive, and we are far better adaptive because it's not just answers. We can read body language. We can read size. We can read the sound of somebody's voice, the tone of the inflection of their question. Teachers are so wickedly adept at adjusting their teaching to meet where students are at. That's the biggest impact of all these things. So when a computer comes out and says, I can ask you 100 questions and get you really good at it, I might only need to ask you 10 questions. It's not the questions that were important. It was the feedback the teacher was getting from asking that question that allowed them to maneuver that kid as needed to that next level. And that's where empathy comes from.